What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best NBA player props on Prizepicks today. And I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see, we actually got 19 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get 19 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, should be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $1,000 just yesterday. Another member who won $259 for the 5th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description. So go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group. And I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. And here's a quick shout out for the comments on my last video. Shout out to MJ Records 5558 who just commented on my last video I just cashed, which was fantastic to see. Also Jolly WZ who also commented you're the man, Sengun went crazy on our last video's picks, so that was fantastic. So shout out to them. If you do want to get a shout out, guys, all you have to do is comment on this video and also like this video and you could be in the running to get a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So like I mentioned, guys, definitely pick one or two. Don't just pick all of them and put them in a parlay. But we're going to start off with Brice Sensabaugh, and this one is a fantastic one for actually 3-pointers made for 2.5, and this one actually is for less. Now, you may have never heard of Brice before, but Brice is a great player from the Utah Jazz, and he has gone on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games. Now, they do have themselves a very interesting matchup, as they do face off against none other than the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, when we look at the Philadelphia 76ers, we are going to be looking at 3-point percentage allowed. We do see that the 76ers surprisingly ranked 28th. Moving on to 3-point attempts allowed, we do see the 76ers rank a little bit better as a ranked 12th, so they don't really allow too many attempts. And then 3 points made allowed, we actually see 76ers do rank 20th. So they rank a little bit higher in those 3-point attempts category, and we definitely see that being enough to see someone like Brice go on the under here. When it comes to Utah Jazz and Brice as a forward, Philadelphia actually do a great job at restricting 3-pointers to the forward position, so we definitely see someone like Brice struggling here. Brice did have a game against Minnesota where he did have 5 3-pointers made. We think that was a little bit of an outlier game. We don't really see him doing that sort of volume, especially in a matchup like Philadelphia, who are not only just a slow-paced team, but on top of that also do restrict a lot of 3-point attempts. So we see other players in this Utah team taking a lot more volume when it comes to 3-pointers, and it may take away from Brice's usage rate in this department. Now, his average over the last 5 is 2.6, so just slightly above this line, but we definitely don't see it being enough to see him go on the over, and that's why we are sticking to the under here. We are also expecting a slower paced game. Philadelphia are a slow paced team, and when we look at someone, like Utah, who are a fast paced team, we do see Utah going down and slowing down to actually Philadelphia's pace. So we definitely see that being a big thing here. For that reason, we are sticking to the under for the situation for Brice Sensabaugh. So Brice Sensabaugh, 2.5 3-points made for less, I think is a great pick. So you definitely want to keep an eye out for that one. Now, getting to the next one, we're going to be talking about Andre Drummond. So, as we all know, this is a part of the same game, but Andre Drummond, great player. Now, this one is for 11.5 rebounds. However, this one actually is for less. Now, look at someone like Andre Drummond. We've actually seen him go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games, which is great to see. He went 9 rebounds against New York Knicks. Minnesota, he only had 7, and Boston, he only had 10. And when it comes to Andre Drummond and the Philadelphia 76ers, like mentioned before, they do face off against the Utah Jazz. Now, looking over into Utah Jazz, although Utah aren't really the greatest team, we actually have seen Utah do a great job on the rebounding department. They do rank 7th when it comes to rebounds allowed. So very good there. And we definitely see someone like Andre Drummond going on the under here due to the fact that Jazz just do a fantastic job at restricting rebounds, especially against teams like Philly. When we look at Utah Jazz as well, Philadelphia's Andre Drummond does play the center position, and Utah Jazz do a fantastic job at actually restricting centers from rebounds, which I think is definitely going to have a huge effect here. Drummond hasn't really been feeling it as of lately. He did get a couple of rebounds. He got 18 against Portland and 14 against Warriors, but we definitely see that being a big difference due to the fact that they do allow quite a lot of rebounds to the center position. We definitely saw him take advantage of that, but I think overall we should see him, naturally just go on the under on this one due to the matchup that he does face off against. Now his average over the last 5 is 11.6, so we actually do see that it is just slightly above this line. We think that Portland game has definitely brought this line and his average a little bit too high, that now there's a lot more value actually to go on the under here. When it comes to someone like Drummond, yes, he is a fantastic player, but when we look at what the bookies are saying, the bookies also have him favored for the under as well, so that works out in our favor there. So with this matchup against Utah, we definitely see him going on the under in this situation here, so keep an eye out for Andre Drummond. So Andre Drummond, 11.5 rebounds for less, I think is just a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next player. So getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about another great player, and that is Julius Randle. So Julius Randle has had an interesting season for Minnesota, and this one is actually for 20.5 points. So this one is actually a combo, not a combo one. This one's just a points one, a non-combo one, and this one is for less. So when we look at Julius Randle, we've actually seen him go on the under in 4 out of the last 5 games. So this is honestly huge to see. Okay, Randle hasn't really been scoring that well. He had 6 points against Utah. He had Philadelphia's only had 16. Charlotte, he only had 25, which was decent. He did go on the over on that line. And then Miami, he had 13. And then Phoenix, he had 20, so just slightly below it. So when we look at, his average over the last 5, it is 16. So significantly under this line, which we definitely see taking a huge pick on why we do like the under for this one. Now, they do face off against Spurs coming into this next matchup. And although Spurs have lost Victor Wembanyama, the Spurs still do rank 19th when it comes to points allowed. So not really too bad, a little bit decent, but the reason why we still do like the under for someone like Julius Randle is due to the fact that when it comes to San Antonio Spurs, they do a great job at actually restricting big men, whether it's forwards, whether it's centers, from points. Now, although Victor Wembanyama is off, we actually have seen, even with Victor off, Spurs do a really good job at restricting big men from points, so we definitely see that having a huge effect here. When you look on top of anything else, what you also do see is that when it comes to someone like Julius Randle, he hasn't had the highest usage rate as of lately. He's gone on the under consistently, and we definitely see that having a huge effect coming into this game. Now, although Spurs is a pretty fast-paced team, Minnesota are a little bit slower. We are expecting actually Spurs to go down to actually Minnesota's pace. So Randle may not see a little bit of extra amount of volume that he usually does see. We think he isn't going to get enough volume as well due to the fact that we haven't seen him have that much of a usage rate with the pace that they have been playing when it comes to this Minnesota team. So we definitely see him going on the under in this one. Like we mentioned as well with the other pick, when we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have him favored for the under as well. So that works out in our favor there. So definitely keep an eye out for him. So Julius Randle for 20.5 points or less, I think is a great pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about actually his teammate, and that is none other than Jaden McDaniels. So this is his teammate. Jaden McDaniels has been playing great. This one is actually a rebound pick for 6.5 rebounds, and this one actually is for less. Now look at Jaden McDaniels. We've actually seen him go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games. So he did have 3 rebounds only against Philadelphia. He also had 6, so slightly under against Miami, and a couple of other games. Phoenix, he had 7, Utah, he had 10, and Charlotte, he had 10 as well. But we still do like the under for this situation here, as when we look at the San Antonio Spurs, when we look at their rebounds allowed, yes, they do rank 27th, but like we mentioned before, Spurs do a really good job at restricting the big man position. So we tend to see Jaden McDaniels actually play that power forward position. Yes, sometimes he does play small forward, but I think most of the time he definitely is in that power forward position. Like we mentioned before, Spurs just do a really good job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists. Doesn't really matter when it comes to the big men. And even though Victor Wembanyama is off, we definitely see that being a big case coming into this one. Now, when we look at someone like Spurs or a team like Spurs as well, what we also do see is that when it comes to McDaniels, yes, he has had some outlier games against Charlotte and Utah, who do allow a lot of rebounds, but we think it's brought this line a little bit too high, that now there's a lot more value actually to go on the under in this one. So we definitely do like the under for someone like Jaden McDaniels. What we also do see is that when we look at what the bookies are saying, we also have him favored for the under as well, so that works out in our favor there. So great to see that. But I think overall we should see him go in the under due to the matchups. As we all know, matchups, that's what's most important. So Jaden McDaniels for 6.5 rebounds for less, I think is a great pick. So as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but Prizepicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is none other than Kevin Durant. Now, when we look at someone like Kevin Durant, what we actually do see is that KD has been averaging 26.9 points, 6.1 rebounds, 4.3 assists, while also shooting 52.9% from the field. So he's done a great job for the Phoenix Suns, and the Phoenix Suns do have themselves a very exciting matchup against the Dallas Mavericks. Now, the Dallas Mavericks are currently having a record of 32-32. They have lost their stars in Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, so we are actually expecting to see Kevin Durant have himself a game. But looking at points, rebounds, and assists allowed, we see that the Dallas Mavericks do rank when it comes to points allowed. They rank 16th. Moving on into assists allowed, we see that they rank 15th. And then rebounds allowed, we also do see the Dallas Mavericks rank 21. So they rank very well when it comes to, certain positions. But when it comes to that, we're expecting Kyrie and Anthony Davis to be playing. Now that they are off the floor, we actually see the defensive presence of Dallas Mavericks continue to plummet, and especially with other injuries like Gafford and others. Now, they may end up playing. Right now, they are all expected to be out. So for that reason, we are thinking Kevin Durant is going to be able to take advantage of this really weak Mavericks team and go on the over here. It doesn't really matter whether it's points, rebounds, or assists. Kevin Durant has a high enough usage rate in all three departments to see him be able to go in the over. They are in a position as well, the Suns, that they are trying to claw their way back and try to make it into the playoff picture. Dallas Mavericks have a record of 32-32, while Suns have a record of 29-34. So Mavericks, although they are going to be missing Kyrie, Anthony Davis, Gafford, as of right now, or Derek Lively, they are still expected to try and continue to push to stay in a playoff position. So we are expecting them to play very hard. But when we look at this matchup, we think Suns are definitely in a better position to actually win. We think, the usage rate for Kevin Durant remains to stay high, especially over the last couple of games. He is coming off a loss, but he did have 29 points, 5 assists, and 9 rebounds, actually against none other than the Denver Nuggets. And the Denver Nuggets are a great defensive team. So the fact that he was able to beat his line very easily in all three departments, it definitely does show that KD could definitely go in the over, especially against a lackluster Mavericks team. So keep an eye out for his line. I see a lot of value there to go in the over, especially when it comes to someone like Kevin Durant. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Damian Lillard. So, Damian Lillard, as we all know, great player, and he's been averaging 25.5 points, 4.6 rebounds, 7.2 assists, while also shooting 45.3% from the field. So he's done a fantastic job for none other than the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Milwaukee Bucks do have themselves a great matchup against none other than the actual Cleveland Cavaliers. So it is going to be a very exciting game. Cleveland Cavaliers are top of their rank right now, and Cleveland do rank 10th when it comes to points allowed. On top of that, moving on into assists allowed, we see that they rank 7th, and then also rebounds allowed, we see that they rank 9th. So Damian Lillard face off against Cleveland. Cleveland do rank very high in all three categories, and for that reason, we do very much like the under for this situation here. When it comes to someone like, or a team like Cleveland Cavaliers, we actually see them do a really good job at actually restricting points and assists to the point guard position. So we definitely see that being the case for this actual game. Cleveland, I think, is going to have a lot of focus on Damian Lillard and trying to restrict him and stop him as much as possible, especially in the points and assist department. So rebounds, I definitely wouldn't touch on too much, especially for someone like Lillard, who definitely does get a lot of shots up, does look for those assists. We definitely see Cleveland really having a lot of defensive focus on trying to restrict that and stop that as much as they can. So it definitely will have a huge effect coming into this game. We do like Damian Lillard as the under due to the fact as well that when we look at Cleveland are a slower paced team. Although Bucks are a faster paced team, what we have seen time and time again is that Cleveland do a really good job at slowing down faster paced teams. So we definitely see that being the case coming into this matchup. Although Lillard is a great player, we definitely see Cleveland having a lot of defensive focus on him, and he may struggle from the field. So for that reason, when it comes to Damian Lillard, I would definitely focus a lot more on points and assists. Definitely look at the under, but like I always mentioned, keep an eye out for the line first. If it is too close to his averages, definitely look to go on the under, because I see a lot of great value there. Now getting to the next player, we're going to be talking about James Harden. So James Harden, as we all know, fantastic player from none other than the LA Clippers. And when it comes to the LA Clippers, they do have themselves a great matchup against none other than the Sacramento Kings. Now first, looking at James Harden's points, rebounds, and assists, we see that he's averaging 22.1 points, 5.7 rebounds, 8.5 assists, while also shooting 39.1% from the field. So he's done a fantastic job for none other than the actual LA Clippers. And Sacramento Kings, as their matchup, they have a record of 33-29, while Clippers have a record of 34-29. So it is going to be a very exciting game as both teams continue to fight for a playoff spot. Sacramento Kings do rank 21st, however, when it comes to points allowed. Moving on into assists allowed, we see that they rank 22nd, and then rebounds allowed, we also do see that the Sacramento Kings do actually rank 12th. So we definitely have seen James Harden, do fantastic, and especially against this Kings team, we see him continuing that streak and continuing to go on the over on his line here. When it comes to Sacramento Kings, they do rank pretty mid to low tier in all three categories, but the reason why we do like the over for someone like James Harden is that Sacramento Kings really do struggle at restricting points, rebounds, and assists to the guard position. Whether that's point guard, whether that's shooting guard, we have seen time and time again James Harden be able to take advantage of teams that really do very, very poorly, especially against his position, and he's definitely made these teams pay. He's coming off a game against Detroit where he had 50 points, which was honestly insane, 5 assists and 4 rebounds. Now, when it comes to someone like James Harden, I would definitely focus a lot more on points and assists. Yes, he does have a great usage rate in the rebounding department, but you also have to remember when it comes to someone like James Harden, he doesn't really have, the intention of getting rebounds quite a lot. Sometimes he's just in the right spot, he gets those rebounds, but I think points and assists, he's definitely an intentional player when it comes to getting those stats, and that's why we do see him going on the over in those two lines. Now, when it comes to Sacramento Kings as well, they are a pretty fast-paced team, and we actually have seen them really speed up slower-paced teams. So Clippers are a little bit slower, and we definitely see that being the case here as we see the team Kings really speed up Clippers' pace, which could lead to a lot more volume from James Harden in the points department and also in the assist department. So we definitely see him being able to take advantage of that there. So getting to the next player, we're going to be talking about Cade Cunningham. So Cade Cunningham, as we all know, fantastic player from none other than the Detroit Pistons. And the Detroit Pistons do have themselves a very, very good matchup against the Portland Trailblazers. Now, the reason why I say very good matchup, it's not because Portland is a great team. Unfortunately, sorry, Portland fans, but it's because Cade Cunningham definitely has a favorable matchup as he's been averaging 25.5 points, 6.1 rebounds, and also 9.4 assists, while also shooting 46% from the field. So he's done a fantastic job for the Detroit Pistons, and the Detroit Pistons do have themselves a great matchup against Portland. And when we look at Portland, we actually do see that Portland rank 18th when it comes to points allowed, so pretty low in that category. They rank 13th when it comes to assists allowed, so pretty mid-tier. And then also Portland Trailblazers rank 14th when it comes to rebounds allowed, so a little bit mid-tier in all those categories. Now, we do very much like the over for this situation for Cade Cunningham. due to the fact that when it comes to him as a player, we should see him go on the over and take advantage due to the fact that Portland don't really rank too high. On top of that, Portland also do a very, very poor job, especially against the point guard position, which is what Cade Cunningham is. So we definitely see Cade being able to take advantage of this and going on the over here due to the fact that he just has done a fantastic job overall, and we definitely see that continuing on into this next game. Now, when we look at Cade as well, we also have seen that when it comes to his usage rate out there, it's also been very high in all three categories. We've seen him do very, very well, whether it's points, rebounds, and assists, and because of that, we definitely see him going on the over in any of those three categories. So we should see him being able to take advantage of this, going on the over here, and especially with the pace of this game, we are expecting a good amount of pace from both of these teams, so Cade should see a lot of volume, whether it's points, rebounds, and assists. So there isn't really one I would focus on, since he does have a very high usage rate in all three departments. We definitely see that being enough to see him go on the over in this one.